To pause and to cease reacting is the first essential step toward becoming one who cannot be influenced. If you truly desire to reach that state where nothing outside can disturb your inner equilibrium, you must understand this. Every time you react impulsively, you are voluntarily surrendering your own power. Most people live in a perpetual state of reaction, allowing every comment, every glance, every unexpected situation to disturb their mind and emotions. As long as you remain reactive, you are an easy target, manipulable, predictable, and vulnerable to the forces around you. Carl Jung revealed that the loss of emotional control is a sign of unresolved shadows within the psyche. If you feel uneasy, unbalanced, or anxious, it is not because others hold power over you. It is because there is something within you that you have not yet mastered. Why then do we overreact? Because we invest too much attention in things unworthy of it. We care too deeply about the opinions of others, about external validation, about being accepted and admired. Those who have become truly untouchable have understood a truth many never realize. Not everything deserves a reaction, and even fewer things deserve your energy. Each time you rush to defend yourself, to justify your existence, or to answer with anger, you reveal that others can move you, that they possess, even for a moment, control over your state of being. But what happens if you learn the art of non-reaction? When someone insults you and you simply look at them in silence. When someone provokes you and your expression remains unchanged. When chaos unfolds around you and yet you remain calm and still. That is the moment you become one who cannot be influenced. The way to train yourself to stop reacting begins with a pause before every response. Most people reply automatically without awareness. When attacked, they instantly become defensive. But when you cultivate the habit of pausing before responding, you reclaim your power over the situation. Ask yourself, is this truly worth my energy? Usually the answer is no. Observe, but do not participate. Jung emphasized that the ability to observe without being drawn into the event is of utmost importance. Not everything requires your involvement. Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. Learn to witness life as if you were a spectator watching a film. Practice what can be called selective indifference. It is not coldness, it is conscious discernment of what deserves your attention. You cannot stop others from provoking you, but you can choose not to fall into their trap. Mastering your body language is a powerful skill. Silence, calmness, and a neutral expression are formidable weapons. When someone tries to unbalance you, and yet you remain still without visible reaction, that is the moment you realize they no longer hold power over you. Replace reaction with strategy. Instead of emotional outbursts, respond with strategic awareness. Sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful answer. At other times, a simple smile can dissolve hostility. Do not let yourself be consumed by the heat of the moment. Think long term. When you stop reacting, people begin to see you differently. Some will be confused, others disappointed, but there will also be those who begin to respect you because they feel your energy, the energy of one who cannot be influenced. More important than anything else, you will begin to feel different. You will realize that you are no longer a puppet of emotion. To be uninfluenced does not mean to be indifferent. It means to master yourself to such an extent that nothing outside can shake your inner balance. If you truly wish to begin this practice of emotional mastery, try this. For 1 week, every time something provokes an impulsive reaction within you, pause for 5 seconds before responding. Observe how your body reacts. The tension, the discomfort, the anxiety. They are all signs that further training is needed. Write down the situations that most easily trigger your reactions and reflect on why they disturb you. Each evening, ask yourself, how many times today did I allow something outside of me to influence my inner state? Then visualize a version of yourself who no longer falls into those traps. Make this mindset your identity. and you will begin to feel the transformation. When real change begins within, you start to see the world through a different lens. And the most beautiful revelation is this: when you learn to let go, your strength does not fade, it multiplies. Letting go is not a passive act, it is a form of liberation. It is how you give yourself permission to grow stronger than ever before. Yet few truly understand this truth. Attachment is the greatest weakness a human being can have. Everything you cling to, everything you refuse to release, becomes a source of vulnerability. Those who are truly uninfluenced have mastered the art of letting go. But here lies the challenge. Most people do not know how to release. We cling to others, to situations, to expectations. We believe that without holding on, we will lose something essential. We were taught that letting go is loss, that walking away is surrender. But the truth is the opposite. When you learn to let go, you not only free yourself from bondage, you create space for true freedom and authentic strength to grow. Carl Jung spoke of the importance of separation as a fundamental process in the journey of individuation, the journey toward becoming a whole and conscious being. He understood that those who cannot let go remain trapped in the past, bound by pain and by what they can never control. And here lies the paradox. True power is born in the capacity to release. When you no longer fear loss, you become untouchable. Attachment to what is not yours is one of the greatest obstacles to personal growth. Ask yourself, how many times have you stayed in places where you no longer belonged? How many times have you held on to relationships out of fear that letting go meant losing something precious? How many times have you tried to change someone, hoping that one day they would become who you needed them to be? This is the truth you must face today. Nothing you have to beg to keep is truly yours. Nothing you must force will ever belong to you. Anything that steals your peace has already expired in value. The strongest souls on earth have mastered the art of quick release. They do not remain where they are not respected. They do not continue in situations that no longer honor them. They do not fear loss, for they know that what is truly theirs will never require force. So how do you let go without feeling as if you are losing something? The answer lies in your perception of detachment. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms you." Letting go is not about loss, it is about acceptance. Acceptance that some people came only to teach you a lesson, not to stay forever. Acceptance that some opportunities were never meant for you. Acceptance that some cycles must close so that you can move forward. Facing the fear of letting go is the next essential step. The greatest barrier to release is fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of being wrong, the fear of regret. But here lies the secret. When you face the fear itself, you realize it was never as powerful as you imagined. Try this as a practice of liberation today. Think of something you have been struggling to release, a relationship, a thought, a circumstance. Ask yourself, what would happen if I simply stopped carrying this burden? Now imagine the sensation, the lightness, the peace, the stillness. That feeling of freedom is the clearest evidence that letting go is the right choice. Repeat this affirmation whenever you struggle to release. I trust that what is meant for me will come to me naturally. What is truly mine will never require desperate holding. When you break free from the pattern of emotional attachment, you will witness profound freedom and transformation. The next time you feel the urge to hold on to something or someone who does not value you, do the opposite. Step back. Observe what happens when you stop chasing what wishes to leave. You will find that, more often than not, when you let go, the universe responds with something far greater. The final test to see whether you need to let go of someone or something is not complicated. Imagine they are no longer in your life. Allow that image to settle. Observe your own reaction. If you feel peace instead of anxiety or sorrow, then you already have your answer. In truth, The problem is never the attachment itself. It is your resistance to what is already obvious. You cannot keep what was never meant for you. When you master the art of letting go, your energy begins to transform. You no longer live in a state of lack, but in an abundance of inner strength, confidence, and quiet power. Others will notice this change, and they will see you differently. For the confidence of one who does not fear loss has an almost magnetic pull. You begin to regain control over your life the moment you release what no longer serves your growth. Letting go becomes the final test of self-trust. Those who cannot release remain prisoners of their fears. Yet there exists something even more powerful than letting go, the art of silence. This is the defining quality separating those who are truly uninfluenced from all others. Silence and mystery elevate your value in ways most will never understand. In a world where everyone is desperate to be seen, to be heard, to be validated, those who know how to remain silent and restrained possess an unmatched advantage. They do not reveal too much. They do not react impulsively. They do not explain unnecessarily. And because of this, they become mysterious, impossible to read, impossible to predict. It is this mystery that keeps others curious, that compels them to look deeper. Carl Jung emphasized the power of introspection. Those who are truly strong are the ones who can govern their own narrative. They do not need to announce what they think, feel, or plan to do. They simply act, observe, and let the results speak for themselves. Most people, however, lack this control. They talk too much, explain too much, constantly trying to justify their existence. Every unnecessary word becomes a fragment of information that others can and will use against them. The psychology of silence and its impact on your life is profoundly deep. When you are too accessible, too predictable, too talkative, you lose your mystic, and with it, your value. Others feel as though they already know you completely. No mystery, no depth, nothing left to discover. This principle extends to all areas of life. In relationships, if you are always available, always expressing every thought, you become the safe choice, but never the captivating one. In work, if you reveal too much of your strategy, others will exploit your ideas or surpass you. In life, if you constantly explain every decision, you give people permission to judge and interfere with your path. The truth is simple. The less you reveal, the more power you hold. Silence is a shield. Not everyone deserves to know what you think. Not everyone has earned the right to access your inner world. When you begin to speak less and observe more, you will start to see the hidden motives in every interaction. When you remain silent, you become unpredictable. No one truly knows what you are thinking. And that alone gives you strategic advantage. People will respect you more, for those who do not feel the need to constantly explain themselves radiate a quiet, undeniable confidence. As you deepen your silence, your awareness sharpens. You begin to sense the energy behind every word, the hidden intent within every conversation. Use mystery to your advantage. Do not reveal your plans until they are already in motion. Many fail because they announce before they act. Do not warn, execute. Do not justify, stand firm. You owe explanation to anyone. Once you decide, let results be your voice. Master your body language. Mystery is not only in what you say, it lives in how you carry yourself. A neutral expression, a steady gaze, a brief pause before speaking, these can have more impact than 1,000 words. Learn to enjoy silence. Do not feel compelled to fill every moment with sound. The truly strong are at peace in stillness, for they know they have nothing to prove. Let others discover you on their own. Do not rush to reveal yourself. Leave space for curiosity fuels fascination, and fascination draws respect. Moments of silence hold a mysterious power. When someone asks you a difficult or provoking question, do not rush to respond. Take a breath, pause. That moment of silence will make them feel the weight of your presence. They will sense that your words, when they come, carry meaning. You do not speak to be heard. You speak because you have something worth saying. Never reveal your weaknesses. People can and often will weaponize your vulnerabilities. Only those who have proven their worth deserve to see your softer side. To strengthen your silent presence, practice this simple but powerful discipline. For 1 week, speak shorter, explain less. Be clear, direct, and concise. Observe more than you speak. Study how others react when you withhold information. Use silence deliberately. Pause before answering, breathe, and maintain control. Never announce your plans before they materialize. Let your actions surprise the world, not your words. As you master the art of silence, you begin to control your own narrative. You no longer leak information impulsively. People start to look at you differently. Some will feel uncomfortable because they cannot predict you. Others will admire you because your confidence is undeniable, and some will obsess over you. For the unknown is always more fascinating than the familiar. When you become a mystery, power shifts to your side. But there is still one more element that makes those who are truly uninfluenced different from the rest. They not only know when to be silent, they also know when to prioritize themselves above all else. This is the core principle. When you begin to place yourself first, power naturally shifts in your favor. Most people live their entire lives putting others before themselves. They do everything to please, to fit in, to be accepted. And this precisely is what makes them weak. Each time you place yourself last, you hand control of your life to someone else. Carl Jung taught that wholeness and independence are essential milestones on the path of self-discovery. But such growth is impossible if you keep sacrificing yourself for those who would never do the same for you. The ones who are truly strong, those who cannot be influenced, have understood this truth. When you prioritize yourself, your energy changes and power begins to move towards you. But why? Because from childhood, we were conditioned to feel guilty for thinking of ourselves. We were taught that selfishness is wrong, that constant giving and self-sacrifice are virtues. Yet there is a crucial distinction between selfishness and self-love. Selfishness demands without giving. Self-love gives, but never to the point of self-depletion. This is the key. When you begin to honor yourself, people start to perceive you differently. You are no longer an easy choice, no longer someone to be used or taken for granted. You become someone to be respected and even revered. When you prioritize yourself, you establish standards, and those who have standards are always respected. The unshakable truth is this: if you do not know how to place yourself first, you will always be an option, never a priority. If you keep sacrificing your time, your energy, your well-being for others without receiving anything of equal value in return, you are teaching them that they never have to respect your worth. Think about this deeply. If you are always available for everyone, you will never be valued. If you say yes to everything, people will believe you have no life of your own, and worse, they will stop respecting you. The truly powerful have learned to set boundaries, not because they are cold, but because they understand that their energy is sacred and not to be given away cheaply. So how do you begin to prioritize yourself without guilt? By learning the power of the word no, and by never feeling the need to justify it. You owe no one an explanation for choosing yourself. A simple no is enough. Do not give when there is no reciprocity. If you are always the one who tries, works, or gives, pause and observe who truly stands beside you when you are in need. Cut off those who do not value you. Not everyone deserves a place in your life. If someone only appears when they need something, remove them from your circle. Give time to yourself before you give it to others. Never allow anyone or anything to rob you of your inner peace. If something drains you instead of nourishing you, that is the universe whispering, "It is not for you." Release the guilt of self-prioritization. You owe no one your time, your energy, or your peace. If someone feels offended by your boundaries, it is because they have benefited from your lack of them. Try this experiment for 1 week. Say no to something you truly do not want to do without guilt. Observe how people react when you stop overextending yourself. Spend time alone without interference. Reflect on moments when you acted out of obligation rather than desire. You will be surprised by what follows. Those who truly value you will respect your boundaries. Those who only came for personal gain will fade away, and that is a blessing. When you become your own priority, people will begin to treat you differently. The genuine ones will stay, and they will hold you in greater respect. The opportunists will disappear, and those who once took you for granted will feel your absence, and their discomfort will remind them of your worth. This is the key. When you recognize your own value, the world mirrors it back to you, and then comes a higher state, a complete transformation of presence. Not only do you prioritize yourself, you begin to emit an energy that commands respect without a word. When you reach this level, the world shifts around you. People respond differently. Opportunities flow to you. When a person becomes truly uninfluenced, their energy changes entirely. They no longer beg, no longer chase, no longer bend to the desires of others. They know their value, and they fear no loss. Those who reach this level develop a presence that others can feel. It is not in what they say, it is in what they are. When they walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. Eyes turn without understanding why. They do not seek attention, and that is why they receive it. They do not crave validation, and that is why they are respected. The second undeniable truth: people respect those who fear nothing. This is the power of self-prioritization. This is what separates those who control their lives from those who are controlled by others. When you master this, you no longer live by the world's conditions. The world begins to respond to yours. Carl Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming whole and self-governed, free from the need for external approval. When you reach this state, the way others perceive you changes forever. Think of this. Have you ever met someone who seemed to need nothing from anyone, and yet everyone wanted to be near them? It is because independence is magnetic. When you become self-sustaining, people no longer take you for granted. Those who once ignored you now notice you. Opportunities arise naturally, not because you chase them, but because you have become the kind of person who attracts rather than seeks. Your presence begins to speak before you do. Those who are truly untouchable do not try to impress, do not seek attention, and yet they stand out effortlessly. Why? Because confidence is silent, but irresistible. You can always feel the difference between one who begs for validation and one who simply exists in grounded certainty. And here lies the final revelation. When you reach this level, people begin to treat you as someone worth knowing. But how do you maintain this state and never fall back? Reaching it is hard. Sustaining it is mastery. There are 3 foundations to ensure you never again become manipulable or controlled. First, never place anyone above your peace. If someone makes you doubt your worth, they do not belong in your life. Second, never explain or justify yourself. Once you decide, stand firm. You owe no persuasion to anyone. Third, surround yourself with those who share this mindset. If you live among the insecure, those addicted to external validation, it is only a matter of time before they drag you back into scarcity and need. When you become untouchable, the social dynamics around you begin to shift in your favor. Being unreachable does not mean being cold or distant. It means you have risen above manipulation. Those who once ignored you now seek your presence. Those who once tried to control you feel uneasy around you, and life itself begins to reward your calm, unwavering energy. To preserve this state, perform this practice. Observe who constantly demands your attention and ask yourself, do they truly deserve it? Each time you feel the urge to explain or prove yourself, pause and remain silent. Eliminate every act that signals desperation for approval. Each night reflect, did I act today from inner security or from a need to be validated? When you live from this awareness, the world reacts differently. People admire you, though they cannot say why. They respect you, even when you demand nothing. You feel a freedom you have never known because you finally need nothing from anyone. And this is the difference. When you no longer chase recognition, attention, or praise, you become the one others seek. To reach this state, you must release every dependency on external validation. This is the true strength, the essence of self-mastery. Be the one who is calm when others are restless, silent when others are loud, centered when others are lost. For to be untouchable is not to be separated from the world. It is to become the highest version of yourself. And if you truly understand this, then let your declaration be clear. I choose to become untouchable to all that does not serve my growth. My energy is sacred, and I protect it. Let the world know you no longer seek recognition, you no longer beg for attention. You respect yourself, you prioritize yourself, you fear nothing. And when you embody this truth, the world will finally begin to treat you the way you were always meant to be treated. Because becoming untouchable is not separation from life. It is the realization of your highest self. If this message has resonated with you, if it has reminded you of the power that already lives within you, then let this be your invitation to go deeper. If you found meaning in these words, don't forget to stay connected. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share this message with those who are still searching for their strength. Because every soul that awakens the world a little more. Until next time, stay grounded, stay aware, and remember, you are not here to be controlled by the world. You are here to master yourself. See you in the next video.